Hi Year 7, so let's quickly remind ourselves of what we've learned back in Year 7 connecting to this lesson. We discovered there are two main types of software. There's application software and there's system software. And we learned that application software, well, that's just there to help us perform specific tasks like writing documents or browsing the internet. While system software, which includes the operating systems and utility software, helps to run and maintain our computers. Today we're going to dig a little deeper into system software by answering the big question, what does the operating system do? By the end of this lesson, you'll understand that the operating system, or OS, is one of the most important pieces of software on your computer. It's kind of like the computer's manager. It's always working in the background to make sure everything runs smoothly. Without the OS, your computer wouldn't be able to function. We'll learn that the OS does, well, lots of different jobs. It controls the hardware and software, manages files, allows us to interact with the computer through user interfaces, and even helps us to run multiple applications at the same time. We need to learn this because understanding the role of the operating system will help us see how it keeps our computers running and why it's such a vital part of the technology we use every day. There are two popular types of desktop operating systems. Now, by desktop, I mean the PCs that are in front of us or the laptops we might use at home. In fact, these are the two most popular ones by far. Windows is by far the most popular, followed by Mac OS. And the rest of them, well, there's not that many of them to begin with, but they don't take up so much of the marketplace. Windows and Mac OS are the ones for desktop operating systems. And mobile operating systems are, well, similarly monopolized by these two. iOS from Apple and Android for, well, Android phones. And again, the difference here is incredible. Lots and lots of people use Android on their mobile phones, while some people still use, a lot of people use iOS on their iPhones, but hardly anyone uses things like Nokia or Windows' own operating systems that they had earlier. But what do operating systems actually do? They do so much. It allows the users to interact with our hardware. Otherwise, you'd just be moving the mouse around for no reason. It helps us to run the software and provide a user interface that helps us to navigate our way around our computers. It organizes how and where instructions for software should be stored and when they are being copied from secondary storage to primary storage. It creates file management systems. In all honesty, it just manages everything you do on your computers. One of the main things it does is it gives us a user interface, the ability to actually navigate around our computers to then use what's on them. For Windows, we use something called Windows icons, menus, and pointers. That's the type of graphical user interface we use because, well, we've got windows, and in each window there's an application that runs. We've got icons that takes us to those applications. We've got menus if we right click on our mouse, and we've got a pointer that helps us to, well, point where it is that we need to go. On mobile devices like Android and iOS, the operating systems that are there are designed slightly differently. We don't need a cursor on our screen to show where the mouse is, but we do need the ability to be able to touch a screen and for something to pop up. So Android and iOS both give us that user interface. And another one that's not necessarily used all that often is something called command line interface. and is just by using text. It's used mainly by experienced users that uh, are able to access this type of operating system. But when they do, and if you are able to, it's really powerful. You can do a lot of things very, very quickly. So, operating systems provide us with a user interface. They can be either graphical user interfaces or command line. One of the other major things that it does for us is manage our files. Now, I cannot tell you the last time I've saved a file on my mobile phone and not really known where it's been saved. I don't know what folder it's in. I have no idea how to get there. Until I go into my file management on my phone and search around for it, I genuinely have no idea. Can anyone here really tell me where images are actually stored on their phone? Which folder is it in? Do you have any idea? The fact is that you don't need to. Our operating systems figure that out for us. But each file on our computers has a unique file path which describes its location. Most file paths start with a letter and follow with some subfolders and then the file name and its extension that points to that exact file and where it is in our computers. It also gives us the ability to create new files, save, rename, delete, copy, and even move things. So our operating systems provide two major ways for us to navigate and use our computers. First, they give us a user interface, but also file management.